Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with more NFL news. Now, I seen an article the other day on, I think it was on Instagram, that talked about hypotheticals for early trades already, or early acquisitions for teams. And one of them was Alvin Kamara to the Chiefs. Now, he's with the New Orleans Saints now, of course, but a hypothetical showed a what if scenario to the Chiefs, and it made a lot of sense to me, just because of what the Chiefs are going through now, being 0-2, which everybody acts like is the end of the world. I think they'll figure it out and eventually make the playoffs and get far in the playoffs as they always do. But right now, they just have a slew of injuries and people out to suspensions and things like that, and just not billing correctly. Just depending so much on Patrick Mahomes and his greatness, and what he's able to do. But I think Alvin Kamara to the Chiefs will fix a lot of their problems. One of their problems, I think it'll fix the passing game, being able to get passes down the field. Because Alvin Kamara, we know he can work the short field. So then those safeties would have to come up and help. It would open up the running game for Isaiah Pacheco and for Kareem Hunt and those guys. And I think the safeties would have to come up. So it would open up the team deeper. Pause. But nevertheless, I think those safeties being back far now because they don't respect the run game and they're not running the football correctly. Now, Alvin Kamara doesn't solve your running game. He's not a between the tackles runner. He's not really known as a runner, even though he's running back. He's more that duality of a Christian McCaffrey type, Marshall Faulk type, Roger Craig type. But what I think he does is by creating so many short passes that he can turn into longer runs and first downs and things, teams are going to get agitated with that. And you can't put a linebacker on them, or even a safety for that guard. So you're going to have to probably double team them or figure some out strategically to bring those safeties up. And I think that's a big part of the game. And then you bring in a Pacheco or you bring in a Kareem Hunt to just run the football and being able to do it effectively. Um, Kareem Hunt, for example, I think he's the same type of style of Kamara, but Kamara is 2.0. He's better. He's more electric. He's more shifty. He can run routes. You can put him in the slot and run routes. Opposed to Kareem Hunt, I think he's just good out of the backfield catcher that can catch the football. But I think Pacheco still has more potential this season that he can do. And I think he needs Kamara to do that because you can even run a two-back set with Kamara and with Pacheco, or Kamara and Hunt, and then you can have um, a two running backfield of sort. You can even run probably the T-bone. It'll be interesting what Andy Reid can do with his play calling to be able to get strategically to do that. But of course, this is a hypothetical. I don't think they'll get Kamara because I don't think the Saints would give them the necessary piece they need unless they would trade Mahomes, which they're not going to do, or they have to trade like Chris Jones or somebody. But I don't think they would do that. So. But I think it would give a new element to the Chiefs' offense being able to have Kamara, because they lack a short passing game. Well, that's all they really have now because they don't have anybody get down the field with Worthy being out, Rasheed Rice being out. You have that new um, Thornton guy that's out, but I think he's still young and still new at this, so he's still trying to figure it out. Now he's a tall target, so I don't know how long tall targets last like that, unless you're the physical ability of like a Randy Moss, who was able to live, be able to be on the field that long at 6'4". Now I don't know how tall Thornton is, but he looks around that rim, 6'4", 6'5". But it'll be interesting to see what he's able to become, especially playing with such a great quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. Um, but Kamara being at 30, I think this is his perfect opportunity to try to go get a ring and to try to make some kind of contention to go far deep in the playoffs, because I don't think he's really had that in New Orleans, especially after Drew Brees left. He never had an established quarterback, really doesn't have one now either. So him going to the Chiefs will make a lot of sense for him and for the Chiefs, just because it'll open so many things up for them. And he doesn't have, I know he's 30, which is old in running back years, but he doesn't have a lot of tread on his tires because he's not a between the tackle runner like that. So he isn't taking a lot of hits and a lot of contact with players. So I think he still has an opportunity to be even better, especially playing with a great quarterback. He's played with Drew Brees for most of his career, but over the last couple of years, it's been pretty much nothing that he had to work with. So you can get players like Travis Kelce and other guys great looks, and even the Juju Smith Schusters that they have. uh, to be able to get better looks and get better plays out of the team. So, tell me what your thoughts about Alvin Kamara to the Chiefs and if it makes sense. And until next time, I'll see you next time.